we do something called structured improvisation, because we want the image possibility you get from more of the computer graphics world, but we want the jazz improvisation of the synthesizer world. So we tend to start with programs and push them to places that they're not meant to be. So that can be plugins where we make weird variables. It can be, in After Effects and Premiere, it can be combining things. We get them in their nonlinear regions. We get them to make weird images. We record them, and then we layer them back on top of themselves. And unlike in the analog world, where at best at the end I was doing 50 layers, now I can do 1,000 layers. And so we tend to find these things that hopefully surprise us and delight us. We record them, and then we build and we build. And then sometimes we'll take a bunch of elements and say, okay, now we want to build a construct, and how do we light this? And how do we put the pieces together to build it up? Premiere is used for everything this way, and After Effects is used this way. The first thing I did was to take the soundtrack and redo it at 48K. And then once we laid that to 24 frame per second video in Premiere, now we were able to break it up into sections, and we were able to think about what happens in each section and how do they relate, whatever. After Effects here was critical because that's how I was able to light and layer and build everything. Now, once we have our basic images, I often would go off and really flowchart how they would have to get layered together to get the lighting right, to get the kind of levels of subtlety, particularly like say in the opening where you see those beautiful lit dark things. The connection between After Effects and Premiere is really great because you can set up a bunch of elements in After Effects and immediately look at them in your cut without having to output them, which is really handy. The key to this workflow is being able to have multiple streams of ProRes 444 at UHD resolution at once coming into the machine. I can't work with proxies in this workflow because when you're forcing these programs to go into their nonlinear regions and do things that they're not designed to do, nothing would be repeatable. You only make that image at that resolution, at that file format. And you have to have enough data rate to be able to do that for multiple streams. And that's the key of using the iodyne. It's the only Thunderbolt-based product that has that kind of throughput. I think what the iodyne Creative Suite combination gives you is that much more real-time design potential. Together, it's seamless, just disappears and it all works.